Happy evening, students.
Happy evening, ma'am.
Happy evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Today we are going to have an online debate. I'm so happy that all of you have joined for this online Zoom debate. I think you people are aware of the topic which is being given to you. Can anyone tell me what is the topic which is being given to you?
National Water Grid.
National Water.
Grid.
National Water Grid.
Very good, very good. National Water Grid. Now, before starting the debate, before starting the argument, I just want you people to introduce yourself. 2 minutes time for you to introduce yourself, and you can talk something about the topic there. Okay? Is it clear? Each one of you will take 2 minutes time to talk about yourself. Please introduce yourself, and then you can talk about the topic which is being given to you. And after that, we'll get into the debate. And how you people are arguing among yourselves will decide, the prizes will be decided. And before
Ma'am.
let me finish first. And the prizes will be based on your performance. So what are the things we look into account is your arguing skill, your intonations, and also your content. How you're going to take up your content is very important. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
So with this, we will start our debate. Before that, I would like to introduce our guest lecturer who has joined along with us, who will also be along with me to give the judgment. So I would like to introduce Mr. Victor Imbaraj, who is going to take up the session now. He will introduce himself and he will give few points about the topic, and afterwards he will start his judgment. Okay, students, I'll hand over the mic to Mr. Victor.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Do people know what is today's debate's topic? That is a national water grid. Is it a boon or bane? First of all of you are aware of water conservation and what is the important role of water plays in our life, because for every living organisms to survive or to exist in this world, we need water, right? So it is one of the basic essential thing for every living organisms. So today we are going to discuss a topic which is very much related to water conservation. Okay, first of all, people have to understand what is National Water Grid. Can anyone tell me what is National Water Grid?
Sir,
In countries like India, having a large variation of water resources, with space and time interbasin water transfer project seem to be the ultimate solution to ease the water crisis and achieve huge magnitudes, are always prone to large controversies. And due to their numerous advantages and disadvantages, the water crisis in India may be stated as due to its vast expanse, a huge population and a large variation of annual precipitation, both spatially and temporally. The substitute to the interlinking of rivers can be considered as adopting some techniques like extensive water carrying capacity of the river systems, extensive soil conservations, tank rehabilitation schemes in the south, and linking up all the existing coastal navigation of economical transport. This paper presents a scenario of interwashing transfer in India, its objectives, scope, and the challenges to be met in the investigation, planning, design, execution, and maintenance of the project, sir.
Okay, that's fine, but you're included.
Shall I say shortly, sir?
Comprehensively, you're included all the concepts related to the topic. Okay, Hari Prashant, yes, just tell me
It
shortly.
is in one line we can say, sir, it is nothing but the interlinking of all the rivers of a country through reservoirs and canals.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so National Water Grid in a large scale, actually it is an engineered proposal. Okay, it is an engineered proposal with a particular specific proper plans of management of water resources that is available in India by interlinking the Indian rivers through networks of reservoirs and canals. So that is what is actually called a national water grid. Okay. Initially, it was proposed by Dr. K.L. Rao
1972.
in 1972, but during that time, and the technical feasibility and so many reasons were there. But now, that is in 2003, again, this proposal has been recommended by the Supreme Court, and also this is in full swing. And the government is taking lots and lots of efforts to interlink these rivers, but the process is going very slow. So ultimately, by interlinking all these rivers, what are we going to benefit? There are lots and lots of advantages and also disadvantages over there.
Disadvantages.
That's true. That's true. So advantages, if you see, the large scale of water is getting redistributed to all the states. That is a major advantage. Wherever see some of the peninsular states are not having proper rainfall and the water is not adequate enough for the agriculture. Basically, India is an agriculture country. You people know, right? It is an agricultural country and we need lots and lots of waters. So by interlinking the rivers, like in north, we have Ganga and Brahmaputra, which is evergreen rivers. And also we have certain rivers in southern states, but we don't have adequate supply of water to all the states for irrigation purpose. So there are advantages. So redistribution gives proper supply and a consistent supply. And also there are also other
Hydropower generation.
That's true. Hydropower generation, irrigation facilities, and irrigation improvements, and also
Commercial facilities.
Commercial facilities.
Commercial facilities are also available, and also it is can be used for creative projects like fish farming. Okay, so lots and lots of advantages are there because of this national water grid project. But there are also certain disadvantages, like we have financial problems, ecological
Social
impacts.
impact.
Yeah, social impacts. Okay, socially, people
Ecological impact.
yeah, people don't get adequate. What is that? The displacement of people also takes place because of lack of water, and so many impacts like environmental impacts also, and the areas surrounding the river. Okay, people fear that if the water is diverted to some other region from the original source, they think that the originality and the original beauty and also the original environment and the ecology of the river area will get affected. So scientifically, it is not true. There are certain, we have to now discuss and whether this national water grid is going to be a boon or bane. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So each of you will be talking on this topic for 2 minutes. Okay. First, you introduce yourself. You are. So we will be having the speakers like Suhail, Jaya Roos, and Hari Prashant, Hari Prabhu, Ashwath, and okay. So followed by Vishnu Priya. Okay. You can just say your name and you can talk on these topics. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So introduce yourself and talk on this topic for 2 minutes, and later we will be having open discussion. And in open discussion, we will be having arguments, and you people can take a stand for or against the arguments which are put forward by the speakers. Okay, during the discussions,
Yes, sir.
during these discussions. Now, we shall start with Suhail. Suhail, whatever you feel like talking on this topic. Okay, national water grid, is it a boon or bane? You can start.
Yes, sir. I'm Suhail. I'm from South Sea, from Amla, from Lutz Academy. National water grid is a large-scale engineering proposal for the Indian management of water resources in India by the interlinking of the Indian rivers through network of reservoirs and canals. In this article, we have next. The idea was given by Dr. K.L. Rao in 1972 to the interlinking of rivers for irrigation cum hydro project. And some of the best advantages are redistribution of water. Indian rivers are two types, perennial and non-perennial. The perennial rivers witness devastating floods where peninsular states suffer from severe drought. This project controls the water distribution through the linking of different river, which will not only control the flood-like situation but also to the drought-like situation, sir. Next is hydropower generation. If rivers in India are interlinked, then there will be a majority of dams and reservoirs which can be used for the electricity generation. Therefore, we can say that interlinking of the river has potential to fulfill the energy requirement of the industrial, agriculture as well as rural households, sir. Next is irrigational facilities. As we know that India is a land of agriculture, but its dependency on the monsoon becomes a barrier for our agriculture growth, and commercial facilities like interlinking of the river will open the gate for new perspective of the inland waterways. It help in faster mobilization goods from one place to another. It will also open the new perspective of fish farming. And some of the major disadvantages are ecological impact. Some of the environmental states that the interlinking of the river will affect the ecosystem of the rivers. Next is social impact. If rivers will interlink, then there will dams and reservoirs, which causes the large number of displacement of the people. Therefore, rehabilitation will cause major issues, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Suhail.
Thank you.
Next, we shall move to Hari Prabhu.
So my name is Hari Prabhu and I am from 8th D, Amorpam Lutz Academy. First, I'm going to talk about what is National Water Grid. Sir, it was the idea was given by Dr. K.L. Rao in 1972 to interlink the rivers for irrigation purpose and get hydropower. There was a major advantage and major disadvantages of this idea. So that this idea was stopped in India in 1980 and came after 23 years in 2003, but still the process is very slow, sir. The advantages of national water grid is distribution of water majorly for agriculture, which this process will reduce floods and droughts. Hydropower generation, if rivers in India are interlinked, then there will be a majority of dams and reservoirs which can be used for the electricity generation. Therefore, we can say interlinking of the rivers has potential to fulfill the energy requirement of the industrial, agricultural as well as rural households. Irrigation facilities also it can be used there, as we know that India is a land of agriculture, but its dependency on the monsoon becomes a barrier to the agricultural growth. Commercial facilities like interlinking of the river will open the gate for new perspective of the inland waterways. It will help in faster mobilization goods from one place to another. It will also open the new perspective of the fish farming. The disadvantages of a national water grid project is ecological impact. That some of the environmentalists states that the interlinking of the river will affect the ecosystem of the rivers. And social impact, if rivers will interlink, then there will dams and reservoirs which causes the large number of displacement of the people. Therefore, rehabilitation will be major issues. Then this project is already linked with 14 projects near the Himalayan component, like Gagra and Yamuna linked, then Yamuna Rajasthan linked, Rajasthan Sabarmati linked, like this more. Then there is also another peninsular component. Under this component, there are 16 projects have been listed to link various peninsular rivers, such as interlinking of Mahanadi and Godavari, Krishna, Palar, Penar, Kaveri, interlinking of west flowing rivers north of Mumbai and south of Tapi, interlinking of Ken with Champal and diversion of some water from west flowing rivers, sir. Thank you.
Very good, Hari Prabhu. Now we want next Hari Prashant to introduce himself and speak.
Greetings, friends. Greetings, judges. I'm Hari Prashant of Class 10, and I'm very much happy for being able to participate in this online debate. That is, the topic is National Water Grid. It's whether it's a boon or bane. I hope that everybody here are aware of what is National Water Grid, as said by Sir in the beginning. So let's come to the argument whether it's a boon or a bane. I 100% stand by my side that it is a bane, which is also the fact. Certain ideas may seem innovative and same may very novice, but in practical they are just stupid, and practically they will be impossible. I hope that all are aware of the city of Venice. It is a country, and it has no roads, and it's also known as a city of canals. So it is a small state, and it is even smaller than the smallest state of India. It is just barely the size of Pondicherry. Only in small places like this so-called national water grid is possible. In such a large country like India, this would not be, it would be very disastrous. My friend Suhail and another friend said some valid the advantages of the national water grid. National water grid do has advantages. I'm not going to change it, but every advantage can be questioned by certain disadvantages. Nature should be left as it is. Nature, God has given us land to survive, and aquatic ecosystem is there for in rivers and lakes for animals to survive. And we humans, using our artificial deeds, we are polluting selfishly. We are polluting our land, we are polluting our rivers, and we are wasting all the water. And once everything is done, when there is no water for us to drink, we are bringing up some so-called innovative ideas like the national water grid, and we are trying to change nature and trying to fill the roads with water. So these ideas are simply disastrous. Let me justify this point vividly in the open argument. Thank you.
Yes, next Ashwath can start a speech. Ashwath, you can unmute yourself and you can start your speech. Introduce yourself.
Did you
Ashwath,
mention my name, ma'am?
Ashwath, what happened? I think
I think he has got some network problems. We can
Yeah.
switch on to Jairus. Jairus can start his speech. You can introduce yourself, Jairus.
Good day, everyone. Good day, judges, and good day, my students. I am Jairus of Class 7th D, Amalorpam Lutz Academy. Today, I'm here to debate about the national water grid. Is it a boon or a bane? I would say that the national water grid is a bane, whereas it has more disadvantages than the advantages, because the river present in our country must go in their path, and it will reach the peoples in their homes and in their rivers. If the government does all the process like cleaning the sewage, everything, the waters will go and stay there. I would say by that drought and floods are the major disaster in our country, but it can be solved by national water grid. But the both drought and flood can only solved by national water grid, but there are more disadvantages like impact on the people, and the breakdown of the dams and the bridges may result in major floods, and they cannot be repaired, and it may occur a great loss to the Indian government. This national water grid have been passing around the Indian country for like I would say more than 150 years. If this government do not have a clear vision about this bane, I shall say that this national water grid shall be stopped, and we shall leave the rivers as it is. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jairus. Next, I would like Shravanti to start a speech.
Is am I audible, ma'am?
If you're audible, Shravanti, you can start.
Warm greetings to everyone, my judges and all my fellow friends. My name is M. Shravanti and I'm studying in class 12C in Amlopam High Secondary School. And now I'm going to talk on the topic that the national water grid is actually a boon. Though there are a lot of people who say that it is not good and there are many disadvantages, I would not say that it is extremely advantageous, but then I would like to condemn Mr. Hari Prasad for his word stupidity. because it is actually a plan which is taken forward by the government, and it is wrong for him to mention that word. And also, he should actually take some census before he speaks, because he told that the size of Sydney is just about the size of Puducherry, which is really wrong. Sydney is about 12,000 kilometers squares, whereby Puducherry is just about 16 kilometers squares or something like that. So Sydney is actually one of the largest cities of Australia, and so whatever he said was actually wrong. I'm really sorry, Mr. Ariprasad. And the next point is, though there are a lot of people who actually say that it is not good for the country, I would like to say that this system is not the one which is actually just prevailing for the past few decades. It was actually one which was already practiced in the ancient times, even by the time of Silapadikaram. Yes, the Tamil book, literature book called Silapadikaram has also mentioned all these types of canal views and all. So I would not say that it was actually done for the entire country, but though it was done for the maybe for the South Peninsula, if it is actually taken in a good path, it would actually spread out to the entire country. So when it comes to the argument, I would like to speak the rest of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Shravanti. Now I would request Poo Raghavan to start his speech.
Good evening, judges. Good evening, friends. I am Poo Raghavan. I am from 8th standard D section. Now I am here to debate with you on topic the national water grid. The project is made by KL Rao. This project was made in order to interlock the rivers of India. By interlocking that, we might get rivers for river water from all over the country. So I'm here to talk about it, whether it is a boon or a ban. I am supporting both, because there are some certain advantages of both as well as the disadvantages, which the boon, some disadvantages are told by my friend Hari Prashant, and other some disadvantages were told by another friend. So the certain advantages and disadvantages are the points were told by my friend, all of them. So nothing to say about them, but both the boon and the ban. 50% boon and 50% ban, because national water grid is not full of disadvantages, neither it is not full of advantages too. They are, everything has an advantage as well as a disadvantage. So like that, national water grid is also having an advantage as well as also a disadvantage. Thank you.
Thank you, Poo
I
Raghavan.
will debate in open talk.
Hope everybody has introduced yourself. Anybody else is pending?
Ma'am.
Yes, okay, ma, you can start.
Happy evening to everybody. I'm Aishwarya of class 10. As you all said about the national water grid, now let me start with about what are the important concept of our conversation. So water, as you all know, it is a vital for all living organisms, and if there is no water, there would be no life on the earth. The National Water Grid Authority, it plays a key role in shaping the water infrastructure. So the main important theme of this authority group is to shape the water infrastructure, and this project envisages the transport of the water from water excess to the water lower area. So the water lower area places also, they are getting benefit because of the water and because of this project. It is a basin. It is normally by interlinking 37 rivers of India, and this forms a gigantic South India. And let me tell about the water consumption disadvantages. It also has a more consumption. So the fund allocation is so difficult for the government to maintain about it. And I say that it is also a boon and also a bane. Now I mainly concentrate on about it as a bane. And let me convey my idea in an open debate. Thank you.
Thank you, Aishwarya. Everybody has introduced yourself and everybody has given your view. Some of them have spoken for it and some of them have spoken against it. Now you can pair yourself. Who was talking for boon can take up the session and start your argument. And
What about Ramya? What about Ramya?
Ramya, you want to introduce yourself, Ramya? Ramya, will you please come in your video? You're not able to see you, Ramya? Okay, fine, sir. We'll start with the argument process. Shall we move? Shall we move, sir?
Yes.
Fine. Those who are speaking for Boone can start your argument now, and those who are remaining students can just listen to what we are talking, and you can start your argument. Okay. Now let the session start.
I am choosing Boone because it has many advantages rather than disadvantages. Advantages like redistribution of water, hydropower generation, irrigation facilities, commercial facilities, and it has only some disadvantages like ecological impact and social impact. To upgrade this, government should take steps for a better development of human life. Every possible step by the government is appreciated, but the development process also causes threats to the environment. The government should always take into account the adverse consequences that are attached to such projects. Suggestions for researchers and scientists are mandatory. Undoubtedly, it would be a success. It will change the face of India's continuous floods and droughts. People could also contribute to the support for compromising lives. And the main, and also some of the main advantages are the major benefit is taken by the farmers because they will not depend on monsoon for agricultural process. The problems of flood and drought would be tackled national-wide. The water of the river which causes flood can be transferred to the area where there is a problem of drought at the same time. For example, the Ken-Betwa link has been constructed that would help in supplying water to certain drought-prone areas. Social problems like deforestation, low water availability, and no irrigation facilities are taken seriously to the interlinking of rivers. The poor section would be given drinkable water with greater equity. Many poor farmers will be able to use their lands if they are not using due to irrigation crisis. Thank you, sir. I'm choosing it's a boon.
Who wants to oppose it can oppose it.
Ma'am, I want to oppose it.
Yes, start, Hari Prashant.
Yes. First of all, I would like to do a small clarification to Shravanti's sister. I think that had been a small misunderstanding in the communication of my words. I clearly said in the introduction of me that the city I mentioned is Venice, VNICE. I nowhere mentioned Sydney, and Venice is the city that has population that is barely equivalent to Puducherry. Okay. Now, I would like to raise three important questions to the opposing team. If they are three practical important questions, if they are able to answer it in a correct way, I'm ready to change my side. So my first question is pollution. So for having just a small drainage nearby your home, there are so many problems of mosquito, garbage dumping, so that nowadays all the homes, they are just implementing underground drainage system. So when our roads are filled with canals and all the rivers are interlinked, we need a very much high drainage system. And even a small error happens, technical faults do happen, and even when a small leakage or a small problem error happens in the drainage system, the whole locality, the whole location would have to suffer. So that would be a new problem. All would start complaining to the collectors that in my area the water reservoirs, no, there is a problem. And the second important thing is that transport. When all the transport that we have made now, the car, bike, everything is made and in stock and it's going in the market. So when all the things are made and it's in a running sales, so when suddenly we are interlinking the rivers, we need to manufacture new transport so that each and every one of them gets to do their day-to-day work. So that drastically has impact on the economy of the country. We need to sell the already made goods and we have to manufacture new goods, and there are heavy vehicles also. For certain things we need trucks and lorries, so we have to make both size the trucks and lorries. For that there is no engineering manual or any other blueprint. We have to design new vehicles for that. And whenever there is a dust or any particles on the road, we can go and pick it up, or the garbage collector will come and pick it up routinely. But if it is a river, it will just get suspended at the bottom. Then they have to just come in the boat and they have to do it. Is practical discomfort. And next, if there is no rain, if it is a river, means it will just get dried up. But if it is interlinked, then if there is no rain, then there would be no flow. Then bad stench will come, bad odor will come. Then everybody in the surroundings had to suffer. If flood is there, all have to drown. So I'm saying flooding is the major problem. So how it can be boon?
I already told that this national water grid reduces the flood and drought system and handle the whole country of India into not flooding or not drought and into a same level. And the main advantage is it prevents the drought and flood system only.
Yeah, Hari Prashant, actually what Suhail has said is correct. One of the important and most the focused ideology of this project is preventing the neighboring villages and the area which is around the rivers, like evergreen rivers, from this flood. So those areas which are flood prone are prevented through this project. So that's why the excess water is getting the plan to divert this water to other channels. So actually the vision is ideal. Okay. So when the rain is in excess, so what happens? Especially if you see in the southern states and all, this year we had a rainwater. It was rainwater was very much in excess, especially if you see Pondicherry and all, including all the 4 districts. This year we had almost like 4% above the normal rainfall. This year alone, we had 4% above the normal rainfall. And if you take the national census, it was almost like 8.7% cumulatively. The rainfall was surplus this year, but most of the water has gone to sea, especially in southern states. You have to understand 8.7% cumulatively accumulated in India alone. But if we do rainwater harvesting, or if we make use of these national grid projects, lots and lots of water can be used productively, which is not happening. So I know there are advantages and also disadvantages, but now I leave it in open house, so you people just discuss.
So may I speak now, sir? Shravanti, I'm speaking.
Yeah, yes, Shravanti.
All right, I'm really sorry, Hari Prashant, because I heard it as Sydney. Okay, you actually, I'm actually on the part of a boon. I'm not saying that it is just 100% advantageous, but I would like to say that it has more advantages than disadvantages. And so the first question which you asked was pollution. All right, so I would like to bring this point that the largest canal in the world is in China. It is actually called the Grand Canal, and it is actually about 1,203 kilometers long. And if you see that canal, actually there are a lot of volunteers, and it's almost like so clean there. And the population is almost as same as India. India is going to beat that in a few years. And so when people over there can actually clean up, why not here? And also there are a lot of people and NGOs which are actually, they are actually taking up an initiative to clean up all these rivers. And there are a lot of steps taken by the government. And so I would like to say that pollution would not be a matter. And yes, you said that there will be water pollution. Garbages which are dumped. So there are actually a lot of ways. Like there are special ways of rocks which are actually implemented in the water Ganga River rejuvenation plan itself. So they can actually make use of those rocks as well. So pollution would not be a matter. And the third one, which you said flooding, it's already explained by also Mr. Victor. And also the other one which you said about, if I'm not wrong, I do not remember that. But then I would like to ask you another 3 more questions. So there is a lot of water problems in our country. Even in Chennai, a few years back, people were actually fighting for water everywhere. So when you actually oppose all these kinds of new ideas which are brought up by the government, would you like to actually give new plans so that people will receive all the necessary waters, because this project will actually give the hydropower generation. And the major drawback of this national water grid project is the opposition by the neighboring countries. And I would like to say that Pakistan is the neighboring country which opposes it almost like so many times. And almost 70%, 72% of Pakistan's people actually do agriculture, and they have a large water canal system. And in India, only 60% of us do agriculture, but then they actually oppose it. And you know all those political things which are behind this opposition. So, number one, would you actually propose any new projects so that people would receive good and hygienic drinking water? Because this project would actually give drinking water to so many villages, and up to 35,000 hectares would be benefited by this irrigation. So, second question is, would you actually bring forward any other projects so that the agriculture in India would be benefited? And then the hydropower generation. We are always dependent on the Gulf countries like Saudi Arabia and Dubai for all those things. So this project will actually give us almost about 34,000 megawatts of hydropower. So how would you actually say that this project is going to be an utter use? I mean, I would just like to bring forward the other word, stupidity. Yeah, thank you.
So, thank you, Shravanti.
So,
Now, I would like, thank you, Shravanti. I just want Jairus to come out with this point. As we are running out of time, I just want Jairus to come out with this point.
Ma'am, I just want to say of this national grid, this project, if we do this, even a small mistake can submerge around 4.5 lakhs of people, and even 79,000, around 80,000 acres, I mean, around 80,000 forests. If there are no forests, how we can get rainfall? If there is rainfall, only we can conserve the water by this project. I just wanted to share this, ma'am.
Jairus? Anybody else? Anybody else?
Ma'am, I would.
to say about it is a boon.
Ma'am, already in the heavy rain in Assam was affected 59,804 people and killed 508 people, ma'am. The plan like national water grid, by linking the rivers, the water will be running the other side and it will not be coming inside the ground, and also it will be helpful for many fishers. And also the canals in Rajasthan is the main water source for them, but it is not the problem for them.
Ma'am, I have to ask question to the opposing team. As it is a plan bringing the water together, are you all sure that all places all over India are using that water? I think that they are not using the water if it is brought together. So my view is, if you bring all the water together, the extreme people in south, north, they won't get the water. And if you are not allowing them to use the water effectively by now, then when we are going to make them to use the water effectively by making some infrastructure programs, so they will not be aware of using the water in a limited way. So I need to say my point that if we allow them to use the water effectively, they may be know to how to manage with the water crisis.
Ma'am, sir, we can't be blamed for the people's behavior. It's upon them that they should use the water in a correct manner. If they are not wrong, we can't be blamed for them, sir.
Depending, we have to educate about the people about this water program. Without educating, if we implement them, they won't know any advantages of this. So the education among the people about this project is not, they are not aware of it.
Only if it is bring
Okay,
about
that's
it,
right.
it will be done.
Okay, see, actually, the execution comes in advantage or disadvantage. What do you people say?
Disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Advantage.
Okay, tell me your arguments.
Sir, the opposing team told about a canal in China, and they answered my question about pollution. I find many flaws in their answer. They told about a canal, it's maintained by volunteers. Yes, of course, when it is a single canal, even we can maintain it. But it is different when the national water grid, when all the rivers all over the country is interlinked. If the volunteers could look after the rivers, if they are so, the opposing team is so sure that the canals and reservoirs will not be polluted, they could have done it now. Even now, they could have done, the volunteers could have maintained the rivers. The nature had given us rivers for us to use, and we have shown. They can't say that the rivers now are not completely clean. The rivers now are not completely polluted, but they are, many rivers have gone extinct. Once upon a time in Tamil Nadu, we had nearly 10,000 rivers, but only now we can name a handful prominent rivers. So when we can't even take care of the rivers given to us properly, how can they be so sure that all the rivers interlinked, they would keep it clean? And next, they didn't answer my question about transportation difficulties and economical distress it would cause. Interlinking the rivers all over India is not a easy task. It would already many plans are pending, and doing this would require huge sum of money, and it would cause a great distress in the economy of a developing country like India. And I think it is not even a right time to think about it.
Sir, may I speak,
And
sir?
If
Oh, sorry, continue.
we spend
and
more money means
she asked me
also
to
there will be water for many years, which can be used without
and
droughts.
she asked me to say a good idea. It's actually a good question to ask, but it's very difficult to answer. Yes, sir, if I grow up and I may be able to do some engineering research and suggest a better plan than this national water grid. But I clearly stand by that national water grid is a bane more than a boon, strongly.
Sir, may I speak, sir? May I speak?
Thank
Yes.
thank you, students.
I will
Okay.
also support Mr. Hari, friend Hari Prashant's point. Because for national water grid comes, land will be submerged, and most of the plants get destroyed and they will get decomposed. They release a methane gas, which is also a greenhouse gas. We know that greenhouse gas is a very dangerous gas, which for humans. And if the national water grid comes, many land will be submerged, and the plants will get submerged, decomposed. Due to that methane gas, methane is a dangerous gas which kills many humans. So national water grid is.
Okay,
Sir,
fine.
may I speak,
You
sir?
people, yes, the last one, Shravanti, tell me.
All right, I'm really sorry, Hari Prasad. I didn't answer your question to transportation and economy. Okay, so the transportation, as per you said, yes, it is going to be affected, but then through the canal system, you can actually get the ship. You can actually get the water transport, which is actually by ships and by cargoes. So transportation, yes, it is going to be affected, but then there are also going to be a few advantages to the fishermen who are there. And the second thing is economy. Yes, economy will be damaged because of this. But then all these things are not going to be done it's not going to be built in one day throughout the country. So it would be taking a few decades to complete all these this entire project. But then even if it is completed up to just up to extent like just the Deccan Plateau, then the south region of the India would be actually benefited by this. So not the entire economy is going to be defeated in just one day, or nor is this thing going to be built in one day. So economy can actually be actually, according to the PDF which was actually given by the government regarding this national water grid project in 2003, and which was actually revised in 2019, it states that there is almost six, almost 650,000 crores which is going to be used for this. But then when it is going to be used step by step, and when people are going to be benefited by this, the benefits would actually you block your eyes from saying that it is a disadvantage.
Okay, fine.
Ashwath,
That's
I wanted
fine.
to,
All your
mute yourself. Ashwath, please mute yourself.
Government to steps. It is very slow process in our India, so it should be very
That's-
fast.
yeah, that's true. That's true. See, actually, what Hari Prashant said was correct. This is a huge project, and for a developing nation to implement such a project, it would require very Himalayan amounts. Okay, we need so much of funding for this implementation of this project. But first of all, we have to understand that the
Sir, but already 40 projects of this were
idealism is very okay. We have a certain
already
as
40
a
projects
society at the
which
beginning.
are
Yeah.
working, sir.
Yes,
But
yes,
still now
almost
people
like
are not aware
yeah,
of it.
in 2017 itself, almost they have completed interlinking of some 37 projects through this interlinking of the rivers, and it is working. But one thing you people have to understand, there are perennial rivers and also non-perennial rivers here in India, whereas in certain rivers we have evergreen throughout the year. We have water availability, and traditionally, if you see the history, so many rulers and kings made canals, okay, man-made canals, and the prime reason for making the canals was, okay, diverting this river water for irrigation purpose into agricultural fields. So we have to first of all understand that the primary focus of this project is interlinking of all the Indian rivers, okay, for so many advantages and also productive products like redistribution of the available water which is available throughout the year in these perennial rivers. So keeping that in mind, we have this project called National Water Grid, and National Water Grid project is a dream project, and it is step by step. It is images are there. If you think about the throwing, so from our side, what are we going to contribute? Throwing plastics into the water, avoiding usage of plastics, reducing the usage of plastics, and all those things are going to contribute small individually, making these rivers evergreen. Okay, so it is all in our hands. So whatever I have been saying throughout this, we have to always remember the interlinking of all these Indian rivers through reservoirs and canals, with the purpose that the redistribution of water takes place to all the agricultural fields, especially drought-prone areas. Yeah, so there are, though there are the advantages and disadvantages are there, plenty of disadvantages are there. Let's have it in mind that this is going to be a dream project, and also it is going to be used for productive purposes. Okay, with that, we wind up today's session, and it was very good. I appreciate and congratulate all those people, all the students who participated in this online debate competition. Thank you one and all, and thank you everybody.
Students,
Thank
for
you,
your,
ma'am.
Thank you,
students for
sir.
your active participation.
Yes, sir.
Thank you one and all.
Thank you,
Let's
sir.
end the meeting there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.